let's make lemonade. Okay, let's go to work.
That's the signal. Go. Six. It's beautiful. Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude.
Wake up and hit the ground running. It's The Rush, presented by Willis Auto, with Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bringing you raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic talk about sports, life, and everything else that matters. No filtered, no fluff, just The Rush.
Happy first day of April. Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you along. And Willis Infinity, which offers big offers on the most popular SUVs, the QX80 models, with up to $9,000 retail cash plus financing as low as 0% for 36 months or 3.9% for 84 months. The QX60 models with up to $6,000 off and the same great finance options. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, and the TuneIn app, thank you so much. Watching on YouTube, good morning. Great to see you all. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and of course, leave your comments in the comment section. And call the show at 515-517-2303. Follow us on our social media channels. Happy first day of April, Ross. I'm not an April Fool's guy, so I'm not going to try to pull an April Fool's joke on you.
I wish my voice were an April Fool's joke. I wish I could just turn it off and be normal again. And go, fooled ya.
I see you're just getting sexier by the day to me. That's what it is. You're getting sexier by the day.
I appreciate it. I've started every phone call the last couple of days with something to that effect. Like, hey, I know it doesn't sound like me, and I'm not trying to be real creepy. So, it's weird. Middle of the day, I can't make a noise in the middle of the day. Like I talk and it sounds like this. It's so weird. And then lay down at night and wake up in the morning, I can at least muster through a couple hours. So.
You rally. You rally when we need you most.
Again, I feel fine. It's literally just like I can't make the sounds I want to make.
Were you ever an April Fool's guy? Did you ever pull April Fool's jokes on people?
I mean, not that I remember. Listen, there have been a couple that I've thought were really good. Oh man, what was the one that Sports Illustrated pulled off with the Mets pitcher? Do you know what I'm talking about, Trav?
The Mets pitcher. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to get it for you. Sid Finch, 2 Ds. Sid, S-I-D-D, Finch. So,
well, that's an actual pitcher. But was he a Mets pitcher or was he a Tigers pitcher?
No, it's not a real pitcher. You're having a Mandela effect right now. Sid
Really?
Finch. Yeah. You're thinking of probably Fidrick.
Yeah, okay.
You're thinking of Fidrick, who was an interesting character, who they called him the Birdman.
Yes.
He was just a crazy dude. He'd get on the mound and he'd do all sorts of funky stuff. He was kind of like a Turk Wendell in a little bit.
Do you think the closest to the name is why that's a Mandela effect? It's like, okay, it sounds kind of the same, so I'm going to go think it's the Tigers pitcher. So you're right, it's a Mandela effect, but based on somebody who has a similar sounding name. Back to your story. What did they do?
1985, April 1st edition of Sports Illustrated comes out. And it's about this phenom. And I'm going to tell you about another phenom today, but I promise it's a real story. They came out with this story about this Mets phenom named Sid Finch, who was an absolute freaking goofball. He could throw 168 miles an hour. His fastball was 168. And the wildest part was he pitched with one shoe. He had to have his left foot bare in order to do it. And he had to pitch with a work boot on his right foot. So Sports Illustrated ran a cover story about...
They devoted a cover to this guy.
A cover story. Seriously, the cover... Look up, if you just type it into your Google thing right now, you're going to see the picture I'm talking about. Sid Finch, S-I-D-D-Finch, okay? You're going to see a photo of this one-footed man on a beach. Right? It was all a joke. When you read the article, if you looked down the left side of the page, the first letter of every sentence spelled out April Fool's Day.
That's creativeness.
And that's one that I thought was creative. And they went full in. Murph and Andy did one. Do you remember several years ago when Murph and Andy did their entire show like they were the farm show?
Oh, I do remember that.
They came on, they're like, hey guys, there's been a format change. They're making too much money over there at WHO, and they decided that we just need to simulcast. So sorry, we're going to divert a little bit today. And like Andrew Downs did a soybean report. May beans are down a quarter at 5.6.
The only radio one that I've been a part of that I thought was really good, because I think people are pretty aware for April Fool's stuff now, right? I mean, it's like, okay, they know it's April Fool's. Can you really pull something off? Hell, every day on social media is April Fool's Day because there's so many things out there that just aren't true, and people take it lock, stock, and barrel. But it would never happen in today's radio climate. And this was before YouTube, and it was before, streaming and all that. And when you hear this, Ross, I may have told you this, but there's no way corporations would go along with it now. Think of like Cumulus and iHeart or something like that. Well, Todd and Tyler, which I was on, they did this like the year before I started with them. They switched with the oldies station in town. So they went to a completely different competing
that's a
radio
cool
station.
That takes some collaboration.
It takes collaboration, and so you had the oldies station go out to the rock station, which wasn't owned by the rock station, and Todd and Tyler, which was this all talk show, go to the oldies. Hey, good morning, everybody. KGOR is now the Todd and Tyler, and people lost their freaking minds. They just lost their minds. And they played along until the end of the show and said, April Fools, we'll be back to our normal spots tomorrow. But you would never see that in today's radio corporate line. I mean, could you imagine iHeart going, yeah, we're going to give our talent to Cumulus for a day? No way. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. That's some fun stuff.
Yeah, there's no way that they would allow something like that now. No, I mean, I wasn't allowed to be a guest on a talk show on a different radio show, on a different radio station. That's how dumb they were.
I mean, technically, I never asked for permission, but we were supposed to ask for permission to be a guest on podcast.
Yeah,
you're like,
right.
Hey, we're going to be on a podcast. You got to ask for permission. Why? We're promoting the show.
So I would say that's for April. When I think of April Fool's Day jokes, the Sid Finch thing is the first thing that pops up in my head. I'm glad you weren't aware of it. 168 mile an hour fastball. Watch out.
That should have been the first tip that this kid.
There's so many ridiculous things in it, but Travis, that's like one of those things about lying. Isn't that make the lie crazy enough that people have to believe it?
Social media every single day. Every single day. Finally had a guy on social media yesterday just go, I haven't been on here for a while because it's just toxic. He goes, I just want you to know, if you all did a simple Google search on things, that you'd find that 95% of the stuff on here isn't true or not to the level that you think it's true. And I'm like, I've actually corrected some people on social. I'm like, you're not right here. I mean, you took one little piece and, I go, so
you just described all of social media. I went on there and explained to somebody that they were wrong.
I mansplained it.
I did the world a service. I went online and I corrected a few people. So everybody relax. I took the watch.
It was my responsibility.
Travis, you know how many times I've gone online to tell people what they're wrong about?
Ross,
several times yesterday.
Yeah. Well, Ross was on fire on social media yesterday. It was sit back and watch Ross just pop off on social media.
I couldn't talk, so I had to type. What's a guy to do?
Ross is like, well, I can't speak to anybody, so look at this story. look at this story. Let's look at the number of administrators in the public schools.
What did you called? Because when I called you yesterday, I was like, "Hey, I'm in trouble. I can't talk. I think I'm not going to make it. I'm probably dying." And you said, "Oh, you're okay. Keep pissing people off on Facebook." I remember I laughed and I hung up and I thought, I wonder which post he's talking about.
Yeah, you've had 3 in the last couple of days that have been fun to watch. One was the traveling nurses, which got some good reaction. And you had brought that up with me a couple of days ago when your dad was in the hospital, and so the traveling nurses one got people going down a rabbit hole. Then you had the one on the administrators and teacher salaries and the number of administrators that has grown tremendously in public schools. And we see that, and I don't think I was immune to that.
Well, I kind of had a dick post about that because I think my post was, "Man, who could have seen this coming?" Oh yeah, me. I saw this coming. Yes. I tried to tell everybody.
Rostradamus was just right there again. He goes, he's been saying this for years. And then the other one that I didn't know much about, but you seem to take great joy in this because it was like sit back and watch with some commercial real estate property thing in Pleasant Hill.
Oh, dude. Now
so there's 3 rabbit holes for you.
The Pleasant Hill one, the real estate thing in Pleasant Hill, that's got a very personal thing to me because Pleasant Hill, real estate, its location, there's a lot of things that make that story really, really, really interesting to me. We'll talk about that. I don't think that a lot of people will care about that one, so we'll talk about that one when the details kind of get public. Because my gut says that one's going to end up in a courtroom. That one's going to end up with a hefty lawsuit, I think. Yeah, the nurses thing, man. The nurses thing has been a wild conversation. It still doesn't make sense to me. And a lot of people that know weighed in yesterday and told me, hey, there's a nursing shortage. But there's nurses. We're just hiring them from other places. And then when you talk to nurses, they go, oh, yeah, I took a traveling package. And I had several people in my post that were like, oh, yeah, the person I know does a traveling package. They're from Des Moines or from Central Iowa, but they're working in Missouri. My one friend that was a radiologist, he's like, yeah, I've been working in California because I make a lot more money. So to me, that's like saying we don't have any students, so we've started a student exchange program. Well, if there's a shortage on nurses, then there would not be nurses. There's nurses. The system is just paying more. And then I find out they're not actually paying more, Travis. They're paying a higher hourly rate, but the system is saving money. How? By not paying the insurance. So, walk through the logics of this for me. That the hospital can't afford the insurance for their own employees, and so they can save money by offering a package that pays a higher rate, but does not offer a benefits package. So my friend that was making $100 an hour, $75 an hour as a radiologist was on state COBRA insurance because he was traveling.
That's crazy.
It's
and not
we're
only,
upside down.
And you're forgetting a key part of this. They're actually paying a lot more than that to the nurses because how do you find those nurses? Well, you use staffing agencies, which I don't know what they're like in Des Moines. In Omaha, there's probably at least 10 to 15 very large medical staffing companies that their whole job is to place nurses in hospitals all around the country. So you're going to pay a higher wage, but you're also going to pay a finder's fee and a commission to these staffing agencies at probably attuned to $10,000 to $15,000 per nurse. Because the company's got to get paid. You got to pay the commission. Everybody's got to get paid out of that.
Insurance costs are so high that even the medical field has to find a way around it.
I've always thought that hospitals should just be free insurance. Like if you need somebody, just pick a floor on where you need to go and just we're doing this one pro bono and write it off as a tax write-off. But what do I know? Just seems simple to me. That's crazy.
All right,
absolutely crazy.
And I'm sorry to just totally hijack the first 15 minutes of the show here, but I'm going to hijack a few more because I told you in that Sid Finch story, there's another story that's coming out. This one's very real about a phenom, a baseball phenom. We all know Shohei Ohtani. Did you know the story of Shohei Ohtani's coach? Okay, so Shohei Ohtani's coach was a gentleman with the last name Sasaki. Well, he has a son named Rintaro Sasaki. I'd never heard this name until this morning, okay? Rintaro Sasaki is the son of a coaching legend. His father coached both Shohei Ohtani and Yusei Kikuchi. He made a name for himself in high school by hitting 140 home runs in his high school career, setting the Japanese record.
That's like every time you go to the plate, you're hitting a home run.
He was easily the top player in Japan's professional league draft, but he made a stunning decision to forego the pros in Japan and instead become a college baseball player in the United States. He got a scholarship to Stanford University.
Not a bad school.
Did all right for himself. Did not have a great freshman year, which is why a lot of us maybe didn't hear about this kid. He only hit 269, nice, 7 home runs, and drove in and had 25 walks. Well, Travis, let's just say his sophomore season is off to a little bit of a different projection here. In his first 15 games, he's hitting .339 with 7 home runs, 4 doubles. He's already equaled his home run total for last year in the first month. He has cut down on his strikeouts and improved his walks. But most impressively, yesterday, in a game at Virginia Tech, he broke the scoreboard. Sasaki hits with a wooden bat to start his batting practice to prepare for his professional baseball career before switching to metal bats. I said yesterday, on Sunday, Sasaki hit a home run with a wooden bat that smashed into the Virginia Tech scoreboard and broke off part of the T in the Tech.
Wow.
He added some in-game damage, reached base 9 times over the weekend with 2 home runs and 5 walks.
You know, my first thought when you were telling me the story, because he's at Stanford and they're playing at Virginia Tech, and I'm like, well, why is Stanford playing at Virginia Tech? And I had to go, oh, because they're in the ACC. I'm like, why is Stanford? And then it's like, oh, they're in the ACC. Talk about a road trip that makes 0 sense whatsoever. You know, that's an interesting move. In all seriousness, we see Vitello now managing the San Francisco Giants. We see Major League Baseball teams going to the college ranks a lot more and more. I mean, when I was in high school, your first round was all high schoolers. Rarely was there a college player. Now that's changing. College players are becoming higher drafted. Ross, it'll be interesting to see if some of these Japanese players will follow his lead and go, you know, my fastest way to the majors might not be Japanese professional baseball, but go the college route.
This is not just some kid. He would have been the number 1 pick in the Japanese professional baseball draft, and he saw Stanford as a better option for him. Now, he's not. He's a very unique kid. Very unique is something you're not supposed to say. He's a unique kid because of the family stuff, because of he was going to have a lot of light on him anyway. So not a normal path, but I think that it's something to keep an eye on. You're right. If this kid did it, he won't be the last.
Because what are we seeing out of college players now? You know, when you get a high school kid that goes in the first round, you usually don't see that kid in the majors until 4, maybe 5 years down the road. Now, there's exceptions to the rule. I understand that. But if you get a guy that's gone through 4 years of college, your rise to the major leagues seems to be a lot faster. Maybe a 1, 2, or 3 year climb to the major leagues if you're that good. It'd be interesting to follow this story, not just from the Shohei Ohtani connection, but you have one of the better players in Japan come over and play baseball and do it at the college ranks, which you are committed to basically 3 years, I believe, right? He's got to play through his junior season. Interesting. Broke the T in Virginia Tech.
I like that. You bring up that they're in the ACC, and somebody wrote, or George wrote, Atlantic Coast. No, the A stands for All Coast Conference. That's what they're just going to change it to the All Coast Conference.
You know, they really should. That would be cool if they said, "Hey, we're changing the name. Our acronym stays the same, but we're now to make sure that we have an inclusive conference." We want everybody to be included. We're not an exclusive conference. We're inclusive because we want to use inclusive language. We are now the All Coast Conference because we have the East Coast and we have the West Coast. So we're the All Coast Conference. I like it. I like it a lot. And that will really hit with those California schools that are into that inclusive language.
Oh, buddy, that's, part of making our California friends feel welcome. We're going to increase our taxes and start using inclusive language. Sorry. The jokes are better when you can hear them.
No, we can hear those just fine. We can hear them just fine. You mentioned unique players, right? And there's something and I don't know if I'm saying his last name right or not, but there's something very unique about 7'9" Oliver Rue.
Yeah, I think that's how you say it.
Oliver Rue probably became really famous during the first round of the NCAA tournament where you had that guy just looking up at him going, "You're like a tall drink of water." At 7'9", Oliver Rue is just, he's tall. He's really, really tall. Well,
at 7'9", he's tall.
He's a freak of nature. He scored 7 points all year long for Florida. I think he only played in like 11 games. Now, Florida had a pretty darn good front court, but he's entered the transfer portal. Ross, why did the first thing that go to my mind go, this kid's going to end up at Purdue? I'm like, this guy is just built for Purdue.
Yeah, because every other 9-foot kid ends up at Purdue.
It seems that way. I mean, at 7'9", you're going to be imposing it anyway, but you still have to be a decent basketball player. When you watch, if you only get in 11 games, you only score 7 points all year, wouldn't that tell you that you're probably not that good of a basketball player? I could be wrong. I haven't watched a lot of them.
Let's slow down on that. First of all, he's not a Zion Williams type of athletic freak. He's not.
Or a Victor. I think a Victor Wembanyama is a better.
Way better.
Yeah.
Victor Wembanyama can bring the ball up the court. He can shoot the 3-pointer. He's got a variety of skills on the court. This kid is just 9 foot tall. And I mean, like, have you seen the thing of him dunking, barely jumping?
Yeah, it's just dunk.
Burger McChick has a good one. Remember Sean Bradley?
Oh, from BYU. Yeah, I remember Sean Bradley was playing with BYU. Then Sean Bradley disappears for 2 years because he goes and does a Mormon mission. Then he comes back and plays
the Mormon
again.
mission. Yeah. So yeah, he's going to be an asset for somebody. I don't want to look at him on the Florida roster and say because he played limited minutes and because he only had a few points all season, therefore he's not a very good basketball player. That's a really talented team, and he's a young kid. So let's see. It obviously wasn't the right fit for him. I'd love to see him in a Hawkeye uniform. Go get him, Ben.
Ben, that's your next. Yes, go get 7'9". You need an inside presence anyway.
Exactly.
So you can't go wrong with 7'9". I would just put him in the middle of the paint and put my arms straight up in the air and just start swatting away balls. Just go around me. See if you can do it. ping, ping.
Be like that commercial with the Kembe Mutombo just swatting people. Swatting
What
little
is that
kids.
wingspan? I mean, he can probably touch the rim, right? Without jumping?
Oh, yeah. I would think so.
What would have been your ideal height? When you're growing up, did you want to be 7 foot? Did you want to be 6'10", 6'11"?
Dude, didn't every boy want to be tall? Didn't you want to be 6'3", 240 pounds, run a 4.40?
6'4", 6'5" would have been ideal for me because you know back in the day, when I was a lot lighter and when I was a little bit more athletic, I could dunk a volleyball. So
That's impressive, Trav. I'm impressed by that.
I back in the day I could dunk a volleyball, and I always knew, man, if I was 6'5", man, I would dominate.
I was so light. The only way that I could dunk was by running at the hoop and then stop and go to 2-foot jump and have one of my really strong friends grab under my armpits and throw me in the air.
He needs to be on a 10-calorie a day diet. I would agree with that. He needs to put some meat on. But when you're that tall, that's physiology, man. That's
7'9", Canadian college basketball player for the Florida Gators, formerly of the Florida Gators, has an approximate wingspan of 8 feet.
Damn.
He can carry a 4x8 sheet of plywood the long way.
He can guard the lane the long way. Just expand, and he's got the Oliver. You got the lane. Okay, what do I got to do? Either go up or you go across. It's that simple. I mean, he'll end up at a major university, right? I mean, just 7'9", somebody's going to go. I mean, I don't think he ends up at like a Fairleigh Dickinson or something like that. That's why Matt Painter has just got to be going, oh, I turned Yao Ming into a college player. I could turn Oliver Rue into a college player. Won't be a problem at all.
Did you see the video that was going viral when he checked in the NCAA tournament against Prairie View A&M?
Yeah, when the guy was looking up at him, he's like, dude.
That dude's 6'8".
Can you imagine being 6'8" and look at, I mean, you're like, I'm only going to your shoulders.
He does. Comes right to his shoulder. And he's looking up at him and he goes, damn, you tall.
Hey, folks, High Limit Racing is coming to 2 different Iowa racetracks this summer, and the Iowa Lottery has chances for 114 of their VIP club members to win tickets and attend exciting sprint car racing series. Sweet experiences for 2 or a 4-pack of general admission tickets are up for grabs for the Duel at Davenport, at the Speedway at the Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds in Davenport, and the Shelby County Shootout at the Speedway in Harlan. Plus, all prizes include spending cash. VIP club members can enter their non-winning tickets in their VIP club account. And if you're not a VIP club member, make sure to sign up at iowalottery.com/VIP. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
With the Iowa Lottery's new Millionaire for Life game, you could win $1 million a year for life. That could make you a My Dream Job is No Job millionaire. A front row tickets to every show millionaire. A hire a personal glam squad for you and your bestie millionaire.
Yep, a little further.
Or just to never run out of your favorite pickles millionaire. With Millionaire for Life from the Iowa Lottery,
And these.
you can change your life for life. Play today.
When you work with a company like Mr. Electric that goes above and beyond and makes the customer their priority, that is just a real joy to encounter these days. It was a fairly complicated project and it was intimidating. They made it look so easy and they were very professional, very clean folks. They thoroughly explain what they're going to do. It's clear that they're experienced and that they know what they're doing. Having professionals out there that can do that for me, that gives me a lot of peace of mind.
Keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
My name's Gary Presnell, and I'm a residential home mortgage banker for Northwest Bank in Des Moines Metro Market. I've been financing people's homes for over 25 years, and I'm an expert in financing VA loans, FHA loans, IFA loans, and new construction homes. This is my cat Norm. Norm knows basketball, but he doesn't know mortgage. And that's where I come in. There are a lot of Tom, Dick, and Norms out there doing loans. So don't just trust anyone with your home loan. I'm your local, trusted, experienced expert. Please call me. I would love to help you.
Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Brendan Santone here for Willis Cadillac. I'm bringing in March with some decent weather and some great deals on some 25s. We have two 25 XT5s left in stock, as well as two 25 Cadillac Lyrics available. Low APR, as well as great lease deals on all these vehicles. Come get one before they're gone. Stop in and see us over in Clive at Willis Cadillac, online at williscadillac.com, or just give us a shout.
Hi, it's Noel. If you're thinking about popping the question, start with a jeweler you can trust. At Fiscus Jewelers, we offer the largest inventory in Ankeny, featuring stunning engagement rings and rare and forever natural diamonds, pre-screened with advanced technology. If you don't see exactly what you're looking for, we'll custom design it together, and our CAD drawings are always free. And when it's time to say I do, don't forget the guys. We offer the largest selection of men's wedding bands around. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
Back to the rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Spring is in the air, folks. We're into April. You're probably thinking, you know what? It might be a good time to make a move. And there's a couple steps you have to take when you make that move. You got to go, you know what? Let's go get ourselves a new house. So you're going to call Ross Peterson at Agency Iowa, and he's going to say, I'm anxious to be your agent. However, I need you to take a step. And what is that step, Ross?
Go get a pre-approval with Gary Presnell. Takes 30 minutes. You can do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I mean, you know, with a little exception there, it's a super easy process, and it is the first step. You have to know what you can afford. And you cannot write an offer on a house until you have a pre-approval letter. You have to be able to show people that you actually have the money to buy the house.
And you like you said, it can get done in 30 minutes or less. And there's a number of different loans out there. You can get a VA loan, you can get an FHA loan, an IFA first-time buyer loan, a conventional, a new construction loan, and all those approvals are done locally by Northwest Bank. Gary's been the top producing mortgage broker and banker in the state of Iowa for the past 8 years. He's a man that can be trusted. And Ross does a lot of closings with him, and he knows firsthand. So give Gary a call at 515-975-6767 today. We're going to have a guest to the show right around 7:30. John Higgins is going to stop by the show. Everybody take a drink. I'm going to let John know that the chat on YouTube has a drinking game. Every time I mention John's name, I see people say, take a drink, take a drink. But the Final Four is coming up, and there's been some officiating news. I don't know if you saw the Roger Ayers, Dan Hurley kind of headbutt thing that's been going around.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people, Roger Ayers himself said he didn't think anything about it. Dan Hurley said that, I thought he was coming in for a chest bump. You think an official is going to chest bump you after a made three-pointer? That's a weird thing.
Dan Hurley is a liar. He leads with his forehead.
Were you surprised that Ayers kind of poo-pooed it off and said it was nothing?
Okay, I'll tell you what happened. I saw that, and my first thought was, tee that douchebag up. How did you let that happen? He came over and headbutted you. How did you let that happen in that moment and not tee him up? That's absolutely a technical foul. Travis, the more I thought about it, and I'll say this to John too, good restraint by that official. Because that was not, I was watching that game and I didn't see it. That would have ruined that moment. And I know that sound, if you're a Duke fan, you're going, well, wait, what are the rules? Aren't the rules that if you headbutt an official, you're not only kicked out of the game, but then that's a technical foul and my team gets to go shoot free throws and get the ball? Isn't that the rule? And shouldn't the coach be punished for acting like a fucking idiot in that moment? Biggest moment of your life. Biggest moment of all those kids' lives, and you take it as you turn full Fran. Go over and headbutt an official? You idiot. There is a part of me. I'm a younger brother.
That understands the moment.
Not the moment.
I mean,
that's the
Roger Ayers. By the way, I've met Roger on a number of. Roger's a great guy. He's a tremendous individual. He's not getting, and he's a Final Four ref. He did not get the Final Four this year, and you wonder because he didn't call the tee if they didn't give him the Final Four.
That'd be a question for John.
I'm gonna ask John. I mean, we can both ask John that. I think there's a lot of questions to bring up there. I do believe that, if that was John Higgins probably would have teed him up. It's an interesting call.
Will you be mad at me if I ask John a couple of questions like this? Why isn't traveling called anymore? Why isn't 3 seconds in the lane called anymore? Why isn't palming the basketball called anymore? Did you watch the Iowa State-Tennessee game? Number 10 for Tennessee, I've never seen. Travis, every time he dribbles, he pauses. He puts his hand under the ball and he pauses and he looks around and then he does it one more time. And he puts his hand under the ball and looks around. Do I want to pass? Do I dribble one more time? And the officials don't even care. They're
I think those are fair questions. And I'm just going to speculate here is that the game has changed so much from that they've gotten away with it for so long at the AAU level that it became like this standard of that's what you can do. Because I don't disagree. I'm like,
and I'm asking, all three of those things apply to that. 3 seconds never gets called anymore. In the Iowa game, the fans behind the basket were just count. They got to 11 one time. 11. The officials are just.
I think they're fair because now he doesn't officiate anymore. He's the coordinator of officials, but you grade those guys. I mean, he's grading those officials.
That precipitous slide happened while John was there. I'm just curious. Yes. Is that a directive? Like, is that something that officials talk about and go, hey, now we do this continuation thing. So when a guy gets fouled, he can take another 4 steps. He can Euro pause. He can hop step. Like, oh yeah, you mean traveling?
Yeah, because all you hear is the announcers, look at that Euro step.
Yeah.
Well, in my day,
just read it. It's a gather step. Exactly. Yeah, it used to be called a travel. They used to say, oh, your pivot foot moved. That's a travel. Now, and especially in the NBA, it's a joke. A dude will catch the ball out on the wing. He'll sit there and walk around. Double dribble. You see guys put the ball on the ground, catch it, put it down on the ground again, walk around a bit.
Do you think it's more for an adaptation to the NBA game? Because, I mean,
that's why
how
I'm
long
curious.
have we seen traveling in the NBA? I mean, these are valid questions.
Here's what I think it is, okay? I think it actually goes from the bottom up. Hear me out. I watched this happen with my kid. Luckily, he's a wrestler now. When he played youth basketball, they didn't play basketball, Travis. They can't. You can't actually play the game of basketball because the game of basketball does not have a set time. If you've got a bunch of fouls, if you've got traveling, if you've got other things, the game's going to go long. You cannot do that on a Saturday and Sunday in an arena that is designed to turn over games every hour and 45 minutes. They can't call, you don't shoot free throws. You don't call traveling. You don't call 10 seconds. Play the game, keep the score. In an hour and a half, we'll declare a winner and we'll get the next team out here.
Yeah, because they're all on court time.
It's all on court time.
Courts are no different than like restaurants. Let's get those tables to
Turnover,
Turnover.
baby. Why do you think we crammed 9 courts into this arena? And there's no room between the courts for fans to even sit or stand. So you got parents lined around the outside. Fundamentals are gone. They don't even have time before the games. Travis, did you remember the old layup lines?
Oh, yeah.
Now it's just like, hey, guys, you got 3 minutes. Go out and shoot around for a couple minutes, guys. We know who our starting 5 is. I think it's from the bottom up that these kids at a young age are not. And then if you can even see highlights now of kids acting like LeBron James. They're driving in the lane. They got a kid guarding them and they're flailing and flopping and looks like soccer.
Well, your theory is kind of like mine when it comes to palming the basketball, where in AAU they just get away with it.
They can't call it. You can't stop the game. And I guarantee, I saw it. I guarantee you those officials are told, just let the game play. None of these kids are going to go play at the next level anyway. We're here to cash the checks from their parents.
Let them have fun.
Let's let them go out there and do what they think is their version of basketball and act like they're LeBron and Steph Curry. They'll all show up with their $900 worth of gear and shooting sleeves. And we'll cash the checks, but get them in and out of here. Turnover, baby, turnover, baby, turnover, baby.
Because we can get more parents in at $15 a game.
Yeah, you tell the clock operator, you do not stop the clock. This game has to be over in an hour and a half.
I mean, look at the wheelchair basketball we played in. We only get 5 minutes a quarter or 10 minutes a quarter. We're like, okay, next game.
That was enough, wasn't it?
It was enough.
You get done, you're like,
You bring up palming the basketball. Believe it or not, and I forget which NCAA game I was watching, but I actually saw a palming called, and I'm like, I haven't seen a palming call in years. I saw one called, and I'm like, wow, I had no idea they were still calling it.
I hadn't seen, and I wish I could remember, it was that freshman for Tennessee. He's super good. I can't think of his name now. I had not seen one in a long time that was that exaggerated. He would literally pause and look. I mean, it looked like he was looking for a pass. Okay, no pass. One more dribble. And he'd hold the ball. One more dribble. Damn it. That was it. Thank you, Nick. Thank you. Yes, that was him.
Did you watch the Ben Jacobson news conference at Utah State yesterday?
No, I did not.
It was, I mean, it's a different feel, right? He had all his players in the second row, and he kept referring to the second row. It's all about you. He didn't say it in so many words, but if you listen to him, why make the move? And there was a number, he used the kids growing up, different place. He didn't flat out come out and say it. I was hoping he would, but Ben's a little bit more guarded. He's very selective with his words. But you got the idea, Ross, that being in a one-bid league was a huge part of it. And, because somebody said, well, you went to the NCAA tournament in 2010, you did 2015, then you went through a down period. He goes, well, hold on for a second. We won the regular season title a couple years and didn't make the tournament. In 2020, had one of your best teams, but COVID canceled the tournament. It wasn't that you weren't good. You and I hasn't been horrible during that 10-year period. It was just a point of you're in a one-bid league. If you don't win that tournament, you don't advance. And so all he said was, listen, let's use Utah State this year. If they're in a better league, would they have been a 9 seed? Because nobody wants the 9 seed, right? So you go to the Pac-12 with Gonzaga coming in and some other schools, you look at it and go, oh, you're going to be maybe a 3-team league where you might get a 6 or a 7 or a 5.
Yeah.
And you could tell, and that's why you leave the Valley, because no matter what you do, no matter how good. Barry Hinson's a good example of this. Go look at the record of Barry Hinson at Missouri State / Southwest Missouri State. He had a tremendous record, never got to the NCAA tournament because he'd get beat. There was one year he had like an RPI of 31 or something like that. Got beat in the semifinal. I think they won the regular season, but they got beat in the semifinals of the finals, and they did not make it. And you're like, what more? I mean, losing happens in basketball, and if you're only judged on the tournament championship, you're fighting an uphill battle and probably one you can't win. So Ben just comes out and says, well, in a politically correct way, we're going to have more opportunity here. But that opportunity is I don't have to win the conference tournament every year to get to the NCAA tournament.
Trav, that was the first thing I thought of when we heard the news. The very first thought was, man, now he won't be in a one-bid league. We say it from December. It's got to get hard when you're a really competitive guy who's been around college basketball for decades to sit in an office in December and realize it only matters for one week in St. Louis. That's where I got to be really good. I didn't hear, and I want to go back because I saw Tyler was watching yesterday, our resident UNI fan. Ben said anyone can win the first weekend. It's the next weekends I want to win. That's cool. Good for him, and he should have that hope, and he gets the chance.
Well, and because I think he was talking about even the seedings there. Because if you're a 9 seed, a 10 seed, or 11 seed, getting to that next weekend is very hard because you're playing those upper echelon teams. You want a better seed. So it was an interesting news conference. You can tell they have a lot of support. Probably something, not saying they don't support you and I, but I mean, he had boosters there. They had this, whole thing. And I'm sure you're walking in going, wow, this is a little bit different.
Yeah.
He's getting paid $1.2 million. So he was making $700,000 at Northern Iowa. He's going to start at $1.2 million and I believe a $50,000 raise every year up until he gets to 1.4. And obviously, if you win, you're probably getting an extension. You're going to get a raise. I mean, that usually accompanies it if you keep it going. $1.2 million. And
have you seen?
You know what? That's not a lot of money in the college basketball world. I mean, you get to the Big East, you get to the Big 12.
Yeah,
you're talking 3-4 million.
It's a $500,000 raise.
Yeah, that's a life-changing raise. It's a honey, what are we going to do with $500,000 more? We were making $700,000 in Cedar Falls. What are we going to do with $500,000 more?
Where is Utah State? I know you said the name of the town the other day. It was a new one to me.
Is it Logan?
I don't remember. Does it matter? I mean, I'm not being rude, but I wouldn't know. If you showed me a map of Utah, I couldn't point to any town at all. I assume Salt Lake City is near a lake.
It is. The Great Salt Lake. Utah State main campus is in Logan, Utah.
Okay. North of Salt Lake. It's on the north side of the lake. Lake Shore.
It's nestled in the Cache Valley, surrounded by the Wasatch Mountains.
Of course it is.
85 to 90 miles north of Salt Lake City. I mean, if you're in a valley and he lived in Cedar Falls, but now he gets to walk outside and look at the mountains every day.
Rick wrote in, he said, I used to coach AAU basketball. Several refs told me they don't care.
Yeah, but those aren't refs that are taking the profession seriously.
Travis, I think you're underselling that big time. I think that's a conversation we bring up to John Higgins. Where are you? Where is John Higgins getting officials? Where are these guys starting? If the first guys that show interest in being an official show up and they are told, don't blow the whistle. The officials are showing up and saying, after a little while, I don't care. I can't. Because if I care, I'm causing problems in the system. That's got to be, at some way, that has to lead to the problem that we have where officials aren't be all bitch about it all the time.
Well, to answer your question and to be transparent, just because I'm a little closer to it, is you ask, where do they get officials? Well, first of all, you have to be serious about officiating and want to go to that next level. The only way you're going, and it's not John's only camp, because I think Roger Ayers runs a camp too, but they have these officiating camps where you're graded, where you get one-on-one consultation. They tell you what you're good at, what you're bad at, and then like, okay, you have potential. You might be at the JUCO level. And then in those camps, you have NAI coordinators, you have Division III coordinators, Division II coordinators, and you just don't go from the high school ranks or the AAU ranks to Division I. It doesn't happen that way. There is a stepping stone that takes place, but you have to go in and prove it to other officials and people who grade if you have what it takes to move up. It's not like you're going to the Recplex and going, hey, let's grab this guy. He looks pretty good, and he's going to do a Missouri Valley Conference game. Doesn't work that way. So you still have to have some acumen there, and if you get that feedback, and if you want to move up, you have to improve your skills.
Then why? Then let's go back to our initial conversation. Why aren't they calling traveling? Why aren't they calling palming? Why aren't they calling 3 seconds? The basics of the game are being lost and gone, and the officials are turning their back on it. Why?
We can ask him that.
Okay.
And there may be a different interpretation of the Euro step.
I
don't think there is.
Euro step, jump stop. There's about 6 different terminologies for traveling. There's about 6 different ways to say, oh, I traveled, but I didn't travel. That was called a jump stop.
Jump stop, crossover. That's where
Euro
it's like,
step, continuation. Guy got fouled by half court. Well, he got 4 steps. Yeah, he's 9 foot tall. He can get to the basket.
Man, I went down a rabbit hole last night. Are you a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan?
Kinda. I mean, I like their music.
Well, there's a good documentary on Netflix.
Okay.
And it's not about the entire lifespan of Red Hot Chili Peppers, but it's about Halil Slovak, who was their original guitarist. And I didn't know this, right? Because they didn't become, they were kind of an underground funk punk band, you know? And I didn't know this. George Clinton produced like their second album, but they were still kind of underground. But Halil Slovak was kind of the mastermind behind it, their first guitarist. But the drugs, Ross, the heroin's a bad thing.
Oh,
Heroin
dude.
is a bad thing.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting. This is what I was going to tell you. I would have never guessed it. Who the sensible one in the Red Hot Chili Peppers was, but it's Flea.
Is it really?
Yes. You're watching this going, Flea's the sensible one.
He was gifted with that crazy look.
Yes.
He
and
looks
that's why,
insane. And that's why you go, oh, he's got to be insane. But
and when you come out with a cocksock on, you're like, this guy is absolutely.
That was one of their gimmicks for people that don't know. For a long time, one of their gimmicks was they would come out with one sock.
On the cock.
One sock. Each guy had one sock. I like how you put it, on the cock.
You know,
sock on the cock.
But he does have that crazy look on him. You're like, this guy, and don't get me wrong, he's like, but he was the one who goes, we were all using drugs. He goes, but I got to the point where this is ridiculous. All I want to be is this is what I want to do for a living, right? He goes, don't get me wrong, I did blow. I don't think he ever got into the heroin. But you're listening to this going, Flea is the sensible one in this band? This makes zero sense. Zero
Anthony,
cents.
I didn't, the name, if you asked me to name the members of Red Hot Chili Peppers, I'd have known Flea. I would have known Anthony Kiedis. Chad Smith is their drummer. He's the one that looks.
He was their second, but he's their second.
Oh, really?
Drummer.
See, I didn't know.
He's not the original drummer because the original drummer walked away. He goes, "This is just," because he wasn't a druggie. You know, he's just like, I can't do this. After Hillel died, he just like, I'm out. I'm done.
I would have also known, was Dave Navarro in that band for a while, or was that later on that he joined? When was Dave Navarro a part of Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Am
I making that up? Okay, maybe
I think you're making that up.
Making that up in my head. So last couple minutes of the hour here, do you know the story of Jason Everman?
Jason Everman. No.
The greatest American rock star of all time. True story. Yeah. This dude got kicked out of 2 bands for being too crazy. Missed out on millions of dollars. Could have played arenas. Every major arena in the world sold out with the 2 bands that he was in. And instead, after getting kicked out of those 2 bands, went on to become a true American hero. He became an Army Ranger. He became a decorated military veteran. He served in Afghanistan.
Really?
He's an amazing story. Jason Everman was an original member of Nirvana.
And he got kicked out of Nirvana?
They said, you're too crazy, dude. You're too crazy. We need you to go. You got to go do something else. And at one point, another Seattle group said, he's fantastic. He's super talented. He's so talented. We're going to make him a part of our super group. He was also kicked out of Soundgarden. He was in Nirvana and Soundgarden, got kicked out of both of those bands, joined the military after 9/11, or before 9/11, he joined the military and became a true American hero.
Wow.
Yeah.
By the way, you're getting confirmation that Navarro was in the band when John had his drug issues in the 2000s.
Okay. Well, but I think I was misremembering it though, still, because in my mind, I would have, when you said that first name, I almost said, I thought Dave Navarro was there first.
No, it was Hillel Slovak. Watch the documentary. It's pretty good. Okay. And I didn't know this. Flea, right? Bass player. Hell of a bass player. You know what he was to start? A jazz trumpist.
What?
What? Yes.
Now that would have looked weird. His crazy
yeah.
He's out.
Yes. He played the trumpet.
Wow, I am going to watch that.
I came away just going, Flea is cooler than I thought. I knew he was cool.
They popped on the scene to me with Under the Bridge.
And that's
that
right
in
after
middle school at Amos Hyatt.
The funny thing is, Ross, they were underground. Hillel died. They wrote Under the Bridge, and that was the impetus for that song. Was after his death. That's when they jumped on. That's when they became mainstream.
Spoiler alert, dude. The guy dies? Jesus, I just told you I haven't watched the documentary.
Well, the name of the documentary is Red Hot Chili Peppers, Remembering Hillel. That tells you he's dead.
Oh, okay.
Just to let you know.
What do you think about the conspiracy theory? They have a song called Californication.
Californication. Yeah, I like it. It's one of my favorite songs.
There's some interesting lines in Californication.
Is it kind of about what Corey Haim and Corey Feldman were talking about?
There's a lot of conspiracy theories that are alluded to throughout the lyrics of Californication. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of people that have looked at that song and said, this doesn't seem to make sense. It seems to predict Greta Thunberg. Seems to tell us space is all fake. It's made in a Hollywood studio. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
Would that be the moon landing he's talking about?
515-517-2303.
Phone lines are open, folks. We got an hour in the books. We got an hour to go. It's been a fun first hour. We got a busy second hour. John Higgins could be in the studio at 7:30. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
With the Iowa Lottery's new Millionaire for Life game, you could win $1 million a year for life. That could make you a My Dream Job is No Jobionaire, a front row tickets to every show-yonaire, a hire a personal glam squad for you and your bestie-yonaire.
Yep, a little further.
Or just to never run out of your favorite pickles-yonaire. With Millionaire for Life from the Iowa Lottery, you can change your life for life. Play today.
At Iowa Floor Covering, we believe great floors start with great service. Whether you're looking for a plush carpet, durable LVP, timeless hardwood, stylish laminate, or beautiful tile, including custom tile showers, we'll help you find the perfect fit. No pressure, no pushy sales tactics, just honest guidance from a team that listens. DIY Weekend Warrior, we've got the products and advice to set you up for success. Iowa Floor Covering, floors you'll love from people you can trust.
More Iowa in the Iowa Tap Room than you may realize. Housed in a building nearly as old as Iowa itself, the Iowa Tap Room greets you with a harvest of 120 Iowa craft beers on tap from all corners of the state. And the food doesn't get much more Iowa than this. The Iowa Tap Room, all Iowa beer, one amazing place.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Start spreading the news, 'cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends, the good times never end, unless you're just loitering. It's Central City, we can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City, all this booze is waiting for you. Look at all this booze.
Hi, I'm John Linares with Willis Lexus, and I've got some exciting news on this beautiful March day. Lexus has extended their low rates of 2.49 and 3.49 on all hybrid models. And whether it's your first time leasing or your 10th time leasing, Lexus has an added value for you this month, and they're covering your first payment. And last but not least, it's that time of year where we need to say goodbye to our 2025 models. We have 4 remaining in stock with huge savings. Stop in and take a look at our inventory or visit us online at willislexus.com.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always priority one.
Game on, keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
Like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive and Willis Nissan. Check out the newly redesigned 2026 Nissan Sentra, one of the best values in the sedan market, packed with modern tech and convenient features. Start your buying journey at willisauto.com. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushladio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube today, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, leave your comments in the comments section. And, of course, you can call the show at 515-517-2303. Follow us on our social media channels. We have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram page. We have an X page. And, yes, we have a TikTok page. So we'd love to see you there. I'm Travis Justice. He is Ross Peterson. Chris Meharry just texted me. I don't know if you got the text, too. But, you know, he's bragging about Flea being a learned man. And he wrote a book called Acid for Kids. And he said,
okay.
Yeah. And he says, you should read the book. It's really, really good. I can do that. Acid for Kids by Flea.
I'm just curious. What acid for the children is what it's called.
Okay, Acid for the
Children.
I shortened it to kids.
Is the memoir of Red Hot Chili Peppers bassist Flea. Wild. I am really interested in what that's going to be about.
Again, Flea turning out to be the most normal member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I also watched another musical thing last night. Are you an Ed Sheeran fan?
I like Ed Sheeran, yeah.
There's a 1 hour special on Netflix called One Take or something like that, or One Shot. So they follow him. It was supposed to be like, hey, no edits, no. It's just one shot, one take. And he went around New York. And the more I watch this, I go to Angie and I go, this all seems staged. You know, it's supposed to be this natural. I'm going to the subway. I'm going to these parties. Yeah, it all looked a little. I mean, he's a super talented dude. I'm not denying, but it was like. Yeah. I got sucked in by the trailer, and about halfway through, I'm like, yeah, this was all pre-planned.
Yeah.
All pre-planned. Just because you had to know the route, and people seemed a little bit, yes, we're sitting there, oh my God, it's Ed Sheeran. It's like, you knew Ed Sheeran was showing up. But
have you ever seen the Ed Sheeran $5 peep show?
Oh, those are great. Now, that's genuine.
Very, very well done.
Yes.
And super fun 5-minute watch or so where they set something up in England and it looked like a peep show. It's a dark door and there's a dude standing outside, and as people walk by, they go, $5 peep show. If somebody stops and goes, what? He goes, you can see Ed Sheeran for $5. See Ed Sheeran for 30 seconds for $5. What? And it's legit.
Go away, girl.
It's so good. It's when that curtain opens up and those people are sitting there right next to Ed Sheeran.
They're genuine reactions.
That's right. It's awesome. That's a really fun one to watch.
Tiger Woods, Rostradamus, is following the script. Now all you have to do, if you want to know how things are going to turn out in life, if you want to know how things are going to go, you have to tune into the Rush Radio Show every single day, because Ross will pontificate and give his Rostradamus moments, and he calls it as it's going to happen. He sees the future.
It's called remote. It's called remote viewing. Tyler was just talking to one of the guys was just asking about it. It's not that. Or Johnny asked if I'd ever heard of it. I do it, Johnny. I've never heard of it.
And you called this on Monday when we were talking about Tiger Woods. You're like, Trav, he's going to follow the script. The script is go to the moral high ground, play the victim, say you're going to get help, and then walk away and disappear for a little bit.
Disappear for a while. Yeah.
And he said he's going to disappear for a while.
Mike is right. This is like me predicting the sunrise. Everyone else could have predicted this also. We've all seen this play out.
Do you know why everyone else could have predicted it? Because you've been talking about the script for 10 years.
Yeah.
Everybody's just listened to
well,
it.
But Mike is right. There's a lot of people that have been paying attention
fair.
like me, and they go, "Oh man, this seems like a rhythm. This seems like a play that I've seen before." Where the curtain starts to go and you go, "Oh, there's a few different actors up there, but they're all saying the same lines. This is just Les Mis, but in Des Moines rather than in New York." Okay. Cats is cats, no matter where you see it. That's what this is. As soon as you see the mug shot, that's the curtain opening, is the mug shot. And you go, all right, let's sit back with our popcorn and see if this play, let's see the variations on this one that we didn't see last week when we watched this exact same thing play out with a different person.
Humphrey says, didn't he say he rolled his car because he looked down at his phone? Does he think we're all stupid? Two things can be true at the same time. Meaning, now they found hydrocodone pills in his pocket, okay? And he admitted to taking some prescription medication. He could be high and look at his phone at the same time. That's a possibility.
Oh, I thought you were going to say both things are true. Because, yes, he does think we're stupid.
And that, too.
And Humphrey, you can use that line on so much stuff in life. The Epstein files. Do they think we're stupid? Yeah. Lying to us constantly about all sorts of stuff. Do they think we're stupid? I would even, my pushback on Humphrey would only be this. No, they don't think we're stupid. They know we're stupid. They know we got an attention span about this long. And if they can just keep feeding the system, you're going to forget about that thing that was really important that should have mattered. There's so much stuff out there. Are we stupid? They think we're all stupid. Yeah. I think those are both true.
Now, Tiger was in court yesterday, Ross.
Okay.
He pled not guilty, and he demanded a jury trial.
Brilliant.
Why? Because stardom.
Travis, the text went, the number I thought when it happened, it would be a punchline. I thought everybody was kind of laughing at it. I sent it out to a few of my groups like, hey guys, did you see this? I was shocked. The overwhelming response I got was like, hey man, don't kick this guy while he's down. He could have killed somebody.
Could have killed himself.
For multiple times. He could have killed somebody. Why doesn't he have a driver? Why didn't he call an Uber? Why is he getting fucked up and getting behind the wheel of a giant vehicle to the point where he can roll the thing all by himself? Very, very, very few people are in single car rollover accidents. Doesn't happen often. Happens, not very often. And usually there's extenuating circumstances. Either they're inebriated or there are road conditions that apply to it. Loose gravel, going too fast around a corner. There are other things. You don't look down at you look down at your phone, you hit a curb. You look down at your phone, you clip a mailbox. You look down at your phone, you don't jerk the wheel in various directions, causing the vehicle to roll over. That doesn't happen. Did he look down at his phone? Probably. Is that why the car rolled over? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The oxy in his system had something to do with it.
Well, and he had, because he had hydrocodone in his pocket, and my warped mind goes, well, I just had a tooth pulled, right? I got a thing full of hydrocodone that I was taking for pain. I didn't take the whole thing. But I'm like, I never got that feeling. I never got loopy. But if you're taking 3, 4, 5, or 6 of them, that probably changes a little bit, right?
Yeah.
CBS has already the Masters has already told CBS, you're not going to be talking about Tiger during the Masters.
guys, how do we all hold the Masters in some sort of high regard?
Because they own the rights. They control everything. That's a little unknown secret about the Masters is that they
do we all not look at this and go, screw you guys? Screw you guys.
I mean, you have the most famous golfer in the history of the game get picked up, rolled a car, and you're going into the tournament that many people thought he was going to play, and you're going to say, well, let's just don't. It's Wizard of Oz. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
Travis, you were always so good at this, what I'm about to say. Because for years, radio stations did exactly that. Hey, if a mistake happens, don't mention it. Don't mention it. If somebody says a bad word, move on. Don't. And you were always the one, you were the very first person I ever worked with that said, no. Not only acknowledge it, talk about it.
Oh, embrace it. Go all in.
And that made our Mike Huckabee looking boss very, very, very nervous. Oh, well, Travis, no, that's not the way the book says you're supposed to. We need to talk. And we'd do it. And so people would cuss and we'd do it. And it was great. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, yeah, you can do it that way. Yeah, you don't have to ignore the elephant in the room.
It's kind of like when they do traffic reports and Ankeny and all this stuff. You're like, and we come back and make fun of it because everybody's sitting in their car going, what is that dumb shit saying?
Yeah. What's Aura Labor? There is no town called Adel or Bondalay. What? Ankeny. Yeah, if you're coming in from Ankeny, well, nobody is, because that's not a place. And anybody in Central Iowa would know that, but we've farmed all that out, right?
Yeah.
And we weren't supposed to, don't mention it, don't talk about it, because if you guys don't mention it, nobody will know it. So this is what the Masters is doing. Hey, guys, if we just don't talk about it, everybody's going to forget that Tiger Woods had this mishap. No, they're not. By the way, let's go back to the jury trial thing. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant move. Brilliant. Because the overwhelming majority of my friends were like, oh, poor Tiger. Poor Tiger.
Why were they saying poor Tiger? The guy was...
Because they love him, Travis. It's just, dude, we've picked our teams. Once you pick your team, you protect the fort. Guys have decided they are Team Tiger. I'm Team Tiger. And I don't care what he does. I'm Team Tiger. Of course he cheated on his wife. Do you see her? Of course he cheated on his wife. You had all these women throwing... Of course he does all these drugs. Of course he drives inebriated. You pick your team, you protect the fort. Everybody does it. And Tiger has a huge fort.
Big fort.
And he will win that jury trial. They'll stand up and they'll say, here's the evidence. We showed up. The guy had wrecked his car. We did a toxicology report. We found pills on his person.
Well, he refused the toxicology report. And
yeah, that's true.
He blew because he knew he wasn't drunk. He blew a 0.0.
Yeah, but refused the toxicology report and refused the field sobriety test, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and they said he was sweating. He seemed discombobulated. Well, my argument, if I was a defense lawyer, would be, I just rolled over a car. Wouldn't you be discombobulated? If you rolled over a car, would you get out thinking, "Hey, what's going on?" Would you be sweating? Hell yeah. What the hell just happened?
All right, help me with this one. Excuse me. Coach Herson wrote to us and said, ask Gary McCord about the rules that the Masters puts forward. He broke them one time and basically didn't get to finish that year's broadcast.
And he's never been back.
He's never been back.
No, you can read about it. And I forget what it was. I forget what the rules were. But that's a true story.
It happened in 1994. I'm wondering what he did.
See, I don't hold I don't hold a lot of thing in high regard or reverence. I look at the Masters as just another golf tournament. I don't watch the Masters and go, oh man, look at Amen Corner. Oh my God. Look at the azaleas or whatever they're called. I don't care.
I'm reading from golfdigest.com. In 1994, McCord was at the 17th hole. Eventual winner Jose Maria Olazabal was facing an impossibly fast putt from the left side of the green. In describing how slick the putt was, McCord, eschewing as he often did, the use of cliches, said, quote, I don't think they mow these greens. I think they bikini wax them.
And that got him, which is funny, right? Everybody can relate to that.
That got him kicked out.
Kicked out, and has never been back. Part of the CBS broadcast team.
And at this year's Masters, if a mention of the world's, of our lifetime's greatest golfer, or one of the greatest golfers of all time, not arguably, a mention of one of the greatest golfers of all time will probably get a broadcaster the same fate. A tradition like, unlike any other.
It is unlike any other because nobody else acts like this.
It's I've always kind of had a thorn in my side for the Masters. I've always thought people make way bigger deal out of it
Ross,
than they should.
Let's be honest. You have a thorn in your side for authority.
Dude, no pedestals. No pedestals. It's been a long running thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially when all of this evidence is in your face of like, oh, they're just dicks.
That's why I can't believe like John Mellencamp in an Authority song is not your favorite tune.
I fight authority. Authority always wins.
Yes. Always wins.
Yeah. Yeah. But here I am pushing back the waves of the ocean.
You fight the bad fight, but we hand it to you.
The bad fight.
That's what Ross does. Somebody say, Ross, you fought the good fight. Ross fights the bad fight every single time out.
There's that line. You're on the wrong side of history, my friend.
It's all right. It provides great entertainment.
Scotty, I love this word, Scotty. I wish I had a better vocabulary sometimes. Scotty wrote, was cleverly disguised as a responsible adult. That's funny. I love watching the tournament because of the course, but their hubris on things like this is BS. What a great word, hubris. That's it. That's the one I'm looking for, Scotty.
See, I find almost every course beautiful, right? When you're over at the Open Championships, or better known to most people who grew up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, the British Open, technically they're ugly golf courses because they're just flat links, right? But there's something beautiful about them. I don't, just because the Masters is greener and more manicured, I don't care about that. I like watching guys hit birdies, tough shots, or mess up. Because it reminds me that, oh, you're human just like every other golfer out there. So breaking news, no Tiger at the Masters. I think we kind of knew that already. I think we already kind of knew that.
Be interesting to see what... I mean, will they have they'll avoid all talk of Tiger at all? Okay.
Yeah, the over-under on the Masters weekend of how many times Tiger Woods is mentioned. Over-under 0?
If they put out the edict?
Hold on. There's a caveat here. Let's say you have a record being like the last time this happened, Tiger Woods did it in X year. That's probably the only way Tiger Woods is getting mentioned.
You don't think that whoever that broadcaster is going to have that voice in the back of his head?
Do I mention Tiger here? Last time this happened, a guy wore red on Sundays.
It's such a great example of the they that control everything. It's such a great example. Who said you're not supposed to mention Tiger? The Masters. That's not a person. The golf course doesn't talk.
Let's just focus on the golf, Ross. That's what we're here for. It's about the golf.
Yeah. I guarantee you, they'll all have Gary McCord in the back of their mind. They go,
the only safe one's probably Jim Nance. So Jim Nance is probably safe.
Okay.
But who knows?
Do you think he chances it?
That's a good question.
I don't. He's played by their rules up to this point.
Hey, folks, we got something new coming to the Rush Radio Show tomorrow. Brian Duax is going to be joining us right around 7:15. Starting every Thursday, we're going to have an exclusive Central City Liquors Rush Radio Show special. Meaning you're going to have to go to Central City and say, hey, I heard about this on the Rush, and I want the deal. And it's going to be a good deal. I promise you that, because every deal at Central City Liquors is a good one. If you like gin, you're going to get a good deal.
Oh, he looked
gin.
to the side. He's got somebody in the studio there with him.
You can get a great deal on gin. So
Wait,
just be.
Is Higgins into your studio?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Speaking of Central City Liquors, if you got plans tonight, you can make them better with a stop at Central City Liquors. Fantastic prices, huge selections, and specials on all your favorites. Central City Liquors. Celebrate the moment. In fact, they had a barrel of Weller show up last week, Ross. Oh, yeah. Brian told me he got 5 hours notice. 5 hours. The thing was sold out. It went on sale at like 8 a.m. It was sold out by like 11 a.m. Every bottle. That's the kind of stuff you get. Tomorrow, a weekend exclusive. We're having a new special each and every week from Central City Liquors. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Game on, keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
With the Iowa Lottery's new Millionaire for Life game, you could win $1 million a year for life. That could make you a My Dream Job is No Job millionaire. Front row tickets to every show millionaire. Hire a personal glam squad for you and your bestie millionaire.
Yep, a little further.
Or just to never run out of your favorite pickles millionaire. With Millionaire for Life from the Iowa Lottery, you can change your life for life. Play today.
Woohoo! At Willis, we have a simple philosophy. We treat every guest like a guest in our own home. That means a stress-free environment where you can be cared for by our knowledgeable service team or find that perfect vehicle. Like the stylish Sentra, now leasing for $299 a month with zero due at signing. Or 0% up to 60 months and 3 years of free maintenance on the luxurious new Murano. At Willis Nissan, we're here to take care of you and your vehicle.
Welcome to Willis Nissan.
Hey, Tanner with Liberty Lawn and Landscape here. It may be chilly now, but before you know it, spring will be here. We are now booking for spring, so get a hold of us to schedule your next project today. Serving the Des Moines Metro, we specialize in a variety of services such as retaining walls, paver patios, edging and rocking, and much more. Now offering 3D renderings to show you exactly how your project will look before beginning. Liberty is proudly veteran-owned and ready to serve you today.
Hi, it's Noel. At Fiscus Jewelers, we're honored by the fact that our customers continue to come back on purpose, and that trust means everything to us. For years, we've been privileged to be a part of life's most meaningful moments, and we never take that responsibility lightly. We proudly offer the largest inventory in Ankeny, cutting-edge custom designs, including free CAD drawings, and a team that takes the time to get it right. Thank you for choosing us year after year. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
Hi, I'm Tom, owner of Central City Liquors. Our customers love us because we offer a large selection at an affordable price. And to keep costs low for you, we don't splurge on fancy promotions and expensive equipment. This commercial is being shot on a phone taped to a stick. Anyway, we are proud to announce our new rewards program that allows customers to save more the more they buy. So don't spend more to pay for fancy commercials. Save at Central City, where we know what's important. I told you we should have used duct tape.
Hi, it's Josh Romick at Willis Lexus. And I want to tell you about our Lexus Spring Sales event we have going on, where you can take advantage of $150 off 4 tires or $75 off a set of 2 tires. Give us a call to schedule or visit us online at willislexus.com.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
If you're done growing your family, a vasectomy might be the right next step. At Urology Center of Iowa, we offer a no-scalpel procedure designed to be simple, safe, and convenient. It's performed right here in Des Moines by specialists who focus on men's health every single day. So take control of your future with confidence. Visit iowauro.com. That's iowauro.com. Click Schedule an Appointment. At Urology Center of Iowa, we see you. We've been talking about John Higgins all morning long, and you know what? We're going to talk Final Four, we're going to talk officiating, and we're going to talk basketball. He's in the studio with us, Ross. Now, my lighting and that camera I'm using for him, not the best, but he's here. John, welcome to the Rush Radio Show.
John's had enough time looking really good in front of the camera, all right? He can have a little fuzzy camera now and again.
So I was talking to him about the Roger Ayers thing. And John, you said you talked to Roger yesterday. There's a little story behind this, Ross. Tell me what you just told me. I thought this was an interesting story.
I talked to him yesterday morning because he's got a brother that's very ill and is about to pass. And he was very subdued, but I said, Roger, did this actually happen? And he said, no, I went to him and said one thing to him, and they never bumped heads or anything. I think it's AI.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so I went and looked at it on my, I have a DV Sport film room, and so I went and looked at it myself, and I went and looked at Roger's the one that put his head in, and said something to Coach Hurley, and then came out. And as it shows on the ESPN stuff, it shows Hurley going like this.
Yeah,
and it doesn't do that on DV Sport.
Okay. Well, and John, I'll be honest. I thought of your conversation you had with us like a couple years, or I think it was a couple months ago, where you said to us, you guys might not like it, but the game has to be called different in those final few seconds than it is. And I really did. I looked at it and I said, he should have been teed up. And then instantly said, no, good restraint by that official by not. So I really did think maybe if it did happen, glad to know it didn't, because
they never touched heads. They didn't do any of that stuff.
Oh,
he was close.
Weird.
He was close to it, but it didn't actually touch.
Okay.
That's
well,
that's crazy.
Thank you.
And that you could immediately make a video like that to make it look like Hurley was the aggressor in there.
Yeah.
And he wasn't.
Trav, have you seen the new AI? You remember when Fulgaris had the thing where he punched the ball against the Florida kid?
Yeah.
Have you seen the new AI of it?
No.
Dude, it looks so real. They go to the ground. Fulgaris picks the ball up, throws the ball to the side, and clocks the kid right in the face. and again, John, man.
All that stuff does that, and there's a tons of that AI stuff that we get in our offices that shows plays that the guy like took 7 steps, and I know you love traveling, Ross. So yeah, we get all that kind of stuff like this, and it didn't happen. So I always go back to our film room, our DV Sport film room, so I can see it firsthand. And some of it does happen, some of it doesn't happen, but it's crazy what you can do with AI.
Wow. All right, so can we get into that? Some of the stuff that we were talking about earlier, like when Iowa State was playing Tennessee, I really noticed it there with the young man by the last name Amity. He's the freshman, number 10. Boy, John, every possession, every dribble, his hand is under the ball. He kind of like pauses and looks around the court, and then it's a very slow, and he never changes that pace. Is that a part of why that doesn't get called? Because it's kind of his natural dribbling rhythm, but it certainly seems like a palming of the ball. What am I missing?
It goes back to what was the guard in the NBA that palmed the ball like crazy?
Iverson,
Allen Iverson.
Oh,
it kind of goes back to that point. So what they basically do is, if you're not beating the guy off the dribble, and you're taking the ball and they're hesitating with the ball, because if you call that on every single player, everywhere. AJ DeBonsa from BYU does that all the time. There's some guys that are really good at it. The key is, if you beat the guy off the dribble, like if I hesitate my dribble and I pull it back, and I hold the ball, and then I go by you, that should be called a carrying. But we've gotten really lazy on that, just like we got really lazy on traveling.
So you mentioned the travel. So when you watch these games, John, whether the conference tournament games or the NCAA tournament games, how bad is the traveling in your mind?
I bet we miss at least 5 a game, at least. Now, we've gotten really lazy on it because 3 years ago, and this is going to be a point that I'm going to bring up in our meeting this weekend, is that we got to rein this traveling in. 3 to 4 years ago, or maybe 5 years ago, they okayed that step back, Steph Curry travel, and the spin move travel at the basket. They okayed that stuff. So what we've done as officials, we've gotten lazy on officiating. So we stopped refereeing from the feet up, and that's how you got to referee from the feet up, because the rule in basketball is you pick your pivot foot up and you put it back to the ground. That's a travel. And so, with me being in the last 2 weeks, being in either conference tournament or the first and second round of the NCAA, I have a DV sport right in front of me where I have 9 to 12 camera angles, and I can play back each play instantaneously and look at traveling. And I bet it was at least 5 per game. I could go back and say that was, it looks like a travel. And those are the ones that I think look like a travel. So I go back, spin it back. Yeah, that was a travel. Boom, boom, boom. That's a travel.
Does that answer your question?
It does. And I love those 2 examples. The Steph Curry step back. I know exactly what you're talking about there, John, and the spin move at the basket. The carrying. I'm glad you talked about that, because that to me is something I remember when I was a young man at a basketball game, like a AAU basketball game. A really good official, I know that's probably an oxymoron for you, but a really good official at an AAU basketball game, and people were yelling about 3 seconds and yelling and yelling. And finally the official stopped the game, and he went over to these parents and he said, he has no advantage. He's the smallest guy on the court. It doesn't matter. He could stand in there the entire time. I'm not going to call it, because there's no advantage for him to stand in the lane. And I always thought that was a good thing. That was 25, 30 years ago. I heard that. I was like, oh, that really matters. Is the cheating, or is the manipulation of the rule an advantage for the player?
Correct. I mean, that was a great term, because back in those days we did do advantage, disadvantage. That's how we would referee. That's how I was taught to referee. And then they took it out of the book. They took it out of everything probably for 10 years or, and this past year we put it back in. About advantage, disadvantage, that, if it affects the play, you probably should have something. If it doesn't affect the play and it's not egregious, you can pass on it. You may say something to the kid or the players, but you could possibly pass on it. So I like that idea of advantage, disadvantage, just because, you want your best players in the game at the end of the game. Coaches want your best players in the game at the end of the game. Fans want your best players in the game at the end of the game. So if you got a referee like that, so if you have Peterson or from Kansas or Jefferson from Iowa State or DeMonta from BYU, you want those dudes in the game, because you put those guys on the bench, you're going to have a long night as a referee because you're going to get killed, especially on social media nowadays.
So you've officiated 9 Final Fours, 2 national championship games, I think 29 NCAA tournaments. You've been out a couple of years now. What do officials, and the officials have been selected for this year, there's a number of them. What's it take to get to the Final Four? Is it obviously grades, but a little bit of luck, I'm sure. And what do they go through this week? Are they isolated? And what's the advantage of letting everybody know who the officials are heading into the Final Four?
Well, first, the last question first. It used to leak out somehow, some way, either from the NCAA. Somebody leaked it, so they thought, well, let's just put it out there, out in the public. I'm okay with that. It's not a big deal because it's going to get out there anyway. The process to get there is a great question. That's something we're going to talk about this week in our meetings, because the process is like we go to first and second round site, our supervisors do, and then we give our evaluation on officials, and we grade them along with the committee member, and we give our recommendations. And the unfortunate thing, the recommendations we give all the time do not work that way all the time. Like it
you get overruled.
You get overruled, which is okay. That's fine.
So you're saying there's politics involved with this?
There is politics involved. I was a little surprised that we, in our consortium, out of ours, we had 4 primary guys go to the Final Four, which I didn't think we'd do. I thought we were going to have 2. I thought the Big Ten would have 3, which they do, since they have 2 teams, because they're going to have a Big Ten guy in each of those games. So they have 1 in each semi and 1 in the final, a primary guy. Now, 10 and 11 guys in that NCAA Final Four work for me, which is very exciting. They work a number of games for me.
So who are your primary guys?
So it'd be Kip Kissinger, Doug Sermons, Marquise Pettigrew, and Greg Nixon. Greg Nixon's going to be a standby.
Nixon's an interesting cat.
He's an
interesting, yeah.
He's a 20-year military guy. He's a no nonsense. That's why I like him. He is no nonsense, no BS. His mechanics are awful, but he gets his plays right, and coaches actually like him.
Yeah, that's what matters, right?
He's a goofy dude.
Can you walk me through that? When you say his mechanics are awful, what do you see?
I kill him all the time about his mechanics, because he throws his arms around and just points this way and that way. He doesn't ever put his fist up way up in the air and his hands straight up. He just points and throws his arm around. It's class. Now I know what he has, but some people have no clue what he has on plays. But I know what he has because I've seen him for a long time. I refereed with him.
It's all about
I love
it. Think about mechanics. So the number one rule, if you want to move up, is look the part, which I know you love that part. Then it's mechanics. Then it's know the rules.
100%. And how about
know
get your
the rules
plays
is
right?
third.
How about get your plays right?
So
know the rules is 3rd or 4th. Yes,
John, I love how honest you are with us about this. I'm serious, because it would be so easy for you to come on here and be like, "Oh no, it's know the rules number 1." No, I love that you're honest with us and say and.
If you could look, Jay Bellis is an attorney, right? When I spoke with him for a summer where we had a falling out, and then we got back, and then I ended up bringing him to Omaha to speak at the Creighton Prep fundraiser. I asked him. I said, "Jay, have you read the rule book?" Yes, I read the rule book. I said, "Do you know all the rules in the rule book?" He goes, "Hell no, I don't." That's crazy how many rules and then exceptions to the rule there are in the rule book. There's no way you're going to know every single rule in the rule book. You're just not going to. I know it pretty good, but there's exceptions to everything that you got to go back and look with different situations in every game and every play. Every year you're going to have something new that's going to happen that we're going to screw up. Now, most of the people, like coaches, don't know any of the rules. They don't know the rules. They may know a traveling and a double dribble and out of bounds, but they don't know the rules. You could tell them about anything. And I did when I refereed all the time. I told him this is a rule. And then he didn't realize it wasn't the rule until I went back. And I went back and told him, said, that rule I told you about, that really isn't the rule.
Love it.
So it happened. It would happen all the time. But they would buy what you sold. They did. They bought what you sold. If you had that credibility. Now you got to have the credibility to do that.
Yeah.
But
and the confidence to say the lie with all the fact of okay.
I had a coach once say, you can sell ice to an Eskimo, couldn't you? I said, well, I'll try.
So are like when they go to Indianapolis this weekend, are they isolated? What do these guys go through? I mean, is it as much fun being a Final Four referee as probably a lot of people think, or the game itself, but the lead up to it is not as much fun?
The only part of it is fun is the game, because you lose a lot of money because you're going to take your family, your kids, you got to buy tickets. You got to buy an extra hotel room, and by the way, that's 4 nights, not 1 or 2 nights. It's at least a 4 or 5 night minimum at a very expensive price. So no, every time I went, I lost a lot of money. In fact, after a while, it's like, I don't even want to go. It's not, it's a great, exciting, it's a feather in your cap. But it's stressful up to the game. And once the game starts, it's fine. It's good. It's great. It's a neat experience for your family and your friends that can say, oh, I saw you in the Final Four and that stuff. But up to then, it's not the greatest thing. Now, the problem now, I think, in this day and age with working a Final Four is if you screw something up, everybody's going to remember you, know you forever. And that's the problem with social media, of course, and they're going to get be on all these reels and stuff like my wife shows me all the time. But it's exciting, but it's everybody wants you to be perfect, and you're never going to be perfect.
You may not know this, but we have a YouTube chat going right now, and there's a drinking game involved with you. And every time I mention your name on this show, people take a drink.
Because it happens quite a bit.
It happens quite often.
Just so you know.
do?
Oh,
Travis is very proud of being your friend. Way more proud than you are of him being your friend.
Hey, he came to the house for the interview.
That's very cool. Yeah, I get.
Look, I live 5 minutes away.
And the other one is Dr. Rob. Just so you know, the real drinking game is Dr. Rob, because Travis very proud of being Dr. Rob's friend, because he's really smart.
I've had a few drinks with Rob.
Yeah.
He doesn't drink gin, though. And good by you, Ross, by mentioning gin earlier. How'd you know that?
I saw that. Look, I'm an astute observer, Coach. That's all I am. I'm not
we
smart.
need to take John to Central City Liquors. I think John would have a blast in Central City Liquors. Yeah. Next time, let's go to.
Is that the owner on the screen? That did the commercial?
Yes.
I'd love to meet that guy.
Yes.
Oh, you would love Tom. Tom's amazing, fantastic guy. Hey, I want to go back. Can we talk about the Nebraska-Iowa game and Nebraska only having 4 guys on the court? Is there any sort of, as an official, is that something that you're aware of? Does the official have any sort of, what's the responsibility in that moment?
Before you answer that, I want to see if I was right, because I remember somebody said on social media, the official should have blown the whistle and let him get in. I said, and John, tell me if I'm right. I said, there is no rule about number of play. You can play with 4, 3, 5, 4, 3, and 2. You can't play with 1. In football, they don't stop the game if you have 10. Is the same for basketball? If there's 4, you just let them go?
That's correct. Yeah. Now, as a courtesy, as a referee, when you have 6 on the floor instead of 5, you don't put the ball in play until you have 5. I think on this particular play, every single time after a timeout, you count players. How many guys are on the floor? You always count to 5 each team. You'll count 10, and you go. If you have 9, you look around like who's missing, and then as courtesy, you'd tell the team that you only have 4 players. Now, I don't think that happened. Problem is, the one referee in front of Nebraska's coach and he was looking around. You can see he's looking around, but the other official underneath the basket put the ball in play. Probably a little bit too quick instead of counting like you're supposed to do. After a dead ball or timeout, whatever, you're counting number of players on the floor every single time because you don't want to have 11 and give a technical foul. That's a big no-no. Because if you do that, the no-no is on the referee, not the team, supposedly. Now you would have got dinged if you were the referee on that game and you had 6 guys on the court. You would have got dinged on that. But to have 4, no. One of the referees said, well, they got 15 assistants over there. Why don't they have 5 guys are on the floor? And you can see Fred turning around and then Matt starting to run down the sideline. Now, if he runs onto the court at that time, it's a technical foul.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Now, if the ball is still dead, he could go onto the court. But once the ball is at the disposal of the thrower in, once he goes on the court, it would be a technical foul.
Johnny says, Jalen Rose said the refs should not have put the ball in play. And I think you just said that they did it too quick. He said that was all on the refs. But, you know, it's your job to have 5 guys on the floor.
Right. Yep. No, I can't disagree. You just got to do due diligence as a referee to count to 10. But again, like you said, it's the team's fault that they didn't have 5 guys on the floor. First and foremost.
You run the Big 12 Consortium. You run the West Coast Basketball League Consortium, which includes the new Pac-12. Ben Jacobson is announced at Utah State yesterday. Were you surprised Ben took that job, or is that a better job than most of us think it is?
It's a really good job. That place is unbelievable. The crowd, the fan base, they are crazy, and they have money. They have NIL. From what I understand, from all the people who have been there, from Craig Smith to all those guys that have been there in the past, they have resources. I don't know where the resources are from, but they have resources.
Mormons?
Well, maybe. They may be. I don't know. I mean, BYU, they do. But it's a really good job. The fan base is fanatical. I mean, just crazy. It's an unbelievable place to go referee. I know that. So that, look at and I think probably Utah State was looking at somebody that may stay around a little bit longer. I mean, obviously his track record, he had chances to leave Northern Iowa a lot of times. He had a ton of chances, and he's a really good coach. And I know he was a little bit frustrated during the year this year that his team wasn't playing as good as I think they thought they were. And, they put it together at the end, which is great for them and really good for him. And I think he's excited. I talked to him yesterday. Yeah, he was excited for the move.
Yeah, it's and he actually brought up in his press conference the ability to be in a league that you probably get more than one bid, because with Gonzaga, and will the new Pac-12, you think it would be considered? I don't think it's Big East level yet, but will it be considered? I mean, the West Coast Conference got 3 teams this year. Will it be considered in that level?
Well, in the past, those teams that have been in Mount West, they've had 3, 4, 5 teams in. I bet with Gonzaga and Colorado State's been really good, and obviously San Diego State's been really good. Been the Final Four I had. That was the Final Four I had. The last Final Four. There's some pretty dang good teams in that league. So that will. And Utah State's won the league 2 or 3 times in the last 3-4 years. So.
Yeah, but Ben is also their 5th coach in the last 5 years, which is crazy.
Yeah. No, it's all about the Jimmies and the Joes, but he's a guy who can actually coach, that can really put a good product out there. If he gets the players, they'll do well.
Did you and Fran McCaffrey ever make up?
I saw him at a summer camp a couple years ago, and we talked and visited, and he was congenial. Everything was good. Now it's outside the lines, of course. Inside the lines, we weren't. There was no common bond there. Outside the lines, he was fine. Yeah, and look, he took that team to the NCAA tournament this year. So he's a good coach. He's just hard on the
competitive.
The 40 minutes inside, there's a different switch that he turned, and ooh.
Are there a lot of coaches like that, or are most of them? I mean, yeah, I mean, you saw a different switch, right?
Not a lot, not a ton. I would say there was probably, I would probably say 15 to 20% of the guys are way different. Like Bobby Hurley off the court is a totally different dude. You met with him, you talked with him, totally different guy off the court than he is on the court.
What about Dan? What about Dan?
Oh yeah, he's the same way.
Is he okay?
He's the same way. I mean, I actually think he might be worse on the court than he is than his brother was on the court. And off the court, they great dudes. You'd sit down and have a beer with them, and just BS. But those switches, those guys are so competitive. They can't something during once that game starts, the competitive fire, they can't control it.
I don't know if you can say this or not, but you got what I think is a good Final Four. Who do you think the best team playing? I think Arizona looks really good right now. Can you say who you think?
I don't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I say about this, but I mean, Arizona's from our league, so I'd pick Arizona. Michigan's awful good. I mean, those two teams are really big, very physical. Arizona is a punishing team. They got veteran guard. I would, if I was to pick, I would probably pick Arizona. Somebody asked me this question a long time ago, and I said, from the teams that I've seen, and I saw Arizona early against, I don't know what team it was, somebody from the SEC, and they beat the heck out of them. I thought Arizona was the best team that I've seen. Now I've seen Michigan on TV quite a few times, and I watched them play Nebraska. I think Arizona probably be the best team, but any one of these four teams, with UConn and Illinois, Illinois is dang good. With they got size. It'll be a great. It should be a great Final Four.
We're getting a lot of requests for you, John. They said need to do an hour with Higgins next time. Great questions, great answers. Ross, we may have found our next fill-in. Higgins needs to be the guest host whenever Ross is gone next.
My voice will be gone tomorrow again, so you can come back if you'd like. Hey, speaking of Arizona, Travis, I mentioned this to you before we went on the air. John, do you know why they say bear down in Arizona?
It happened years. I asked that same question. It happened years and years and years ago, and in
1920, 1926.
It was like early in the 20s something. I don't know what. I don't remember what they said. It didn't make any sense to me. But
the starting quarterback was in a car accident. The head coach went to go talk to him, and he said, "Do you have a message for the football team?" He was he ended up dying, and his last words were, "Tell the team to bear down."
Oh wow!
That's back in what year?
Wow.
1926.
Damn. Wow, that's neat.
He was the student body president and the starting quarterback.
John, thanks for coming over, man.
Thanks, John.
It's weird to have somebody in the studio for an interview.
This is great. This is great.
And we even set him up with a camera. It's awesome.
And people are curious if John, since he lives 5 minutes away, does he live near the sex toy superstore? No, he lives the other direction.
Yeah.
Other direction.
Other direction.
Yep. Travis is way closer.
Stop it. Stop it.
Thanks a lot, John.
It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
Start spreading the news, cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends, the good times never end, unless you're just loitering. It's Central City, we can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City, all this booze is waiting for you. Look at all this booze.
Hi, Noel from Fiscus Jewelers. Thinking about popping the question? Take their breath away with a diamond you can trust. Rare and forever natural diamonds. Thoughtfully selected and pre-screened using advanced technology. If you don't see exactly what you're looking for, we'll custom design it together. Our experienced team is here to help you create something truly meaningful. And let's not forget about the guys. We proudly offer the largest selection of men's wedding bands around. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
What's wrong? I hit a gnarly pothole on the way in. My steering feels off, harsh ride, nasty business.
Hitting the pothole can wreak havoc on your suspension.
Did you know for the month of March, if you bring your vehicle to Willis Cadillac, we'll give you 20% off a tire rotation, balance, and alignment.
What? Yeah, I know, James. We both work here.
We sure do, buddy.
And you can schedule online at williscadillac.com. I know. What's going on? Great savings. That's what's going on for me and you.
With the Iowa Lottery's new Millionaire for Life game, you could win $1 million a year for life. That could make you a My Dream Job is No Job millionaire. A front row tickets to every show millionaire. A hire a personal glam squad for you and your bestie millionaire.
Yep, a little further.
Or just to never run out of your favorite pickles millionaire. With Millionaire for Life from the Iowa Lottery,
And these.
you could change your life for life. Play today.
Keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
Missing a quality, home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.